In the New York Times yesterday, Thomas Friedman wrote that instead of prattling on about issues like jobs or the great economy, the media should spotlight Trump's evil personality, because that'll help the Democrats by discouraging Republicans from backing Trump. He wrote, quote, "The whole country needs to see every tweet, every rally, every word, and every reaction so that they can ask themselves, is this who I want my kids to see as our president?" What a great idea. Because remember what happened the last time the media covered every tweet, every rally, every word, and every reaction of Donald Trump? When every wink, nudge, cough became part of the media's snarknado? They elected Donald Trump, the bozos. Yep, there were like 300 Republican candidates, but all the yahoos in the press chased the orange meteor precisely for the things they hate about him now. Trump was great TV. He was shocking. Screw Rick Perry, Rand Paul, and all those other nobodies. This guy makes chance into a sure thing. Trump got like $1 billion worth of free airtime, and not led by Fox News, who actually featured commentators who challenged Trump over his behavior and beliefs. It was CNN who led the charge, and assorted other drips who didn't seem to mind because they thought Hillary had it in the bag anyway, and they had no other way to get people to watch their boring, mindless coverage. So telling the media to focus on Trump's behavior, you're in effect saying, hey, remember how we elected Trump in 2016? Let's do it again. Isn't that true, Morgan? It seems like Friedman has amnesia. The more you focus on Trump, the better he does, I think.
It's interesting this advice is coming from people who it's like the most boring dinner party ever if you're with them. Like they're having a glass of expensive wine and they're like, isn't Trump awful?
Yes.
And so that's essentially, you're having people that have no understanding of social media and of how the president actually goes straight to the American people, advocating for the media covering him in general. I mean, this plays directly into his playbook, as you said. And I think, listen, I was on the other side of him in the primary, so I know what it's like for him to get all the media coverage. He did it brilliantly. He speaks directly to the American people. And I don't know what Friedman thinks he's doing, but I think the same people who read this in the Times are the same people who sit with him at their boring dinner parties and complain about the president.
Who'd you work for in the primary?
Jeb.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting.
That didn't end well.
But I mean, no, but there were a lot of people at Fox who were on the other side.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, and the thing is, I was watching the amount of coverage on CNN and going, you know, they're doing everything.
Not just CNN, but
MSNBC. Morning Joe should have been Morning Trump.
Absolutely.
Unlike Fox and Friends. Of course. I love Fox and Friends. I'm up every morning. Who should I talk to next? Jason, I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking, what's in your brain? What are you thinking? Is it good to get personal?
One of the biggest disappointments when I came into Congress in 2008, when I got to the end, is the lack of objective media. And I've seen how they totally changed the rules, because things that they wouldn't cover under Barack Obama, they now want to cover incessantly with Donald Trump. They have totally flipped the equation. And to be in a contrived way actually advocating, hey, look, this is what we need to do so we can all get together on the same page, is so contrived. There are very few media outlets that I really trust in that. You know, when you want to read the paper in the morning, people always ask. I think the Wall Street Journal gives it the fairest, straightest, objective viewpoint. But, you know, gone are the days of a New York Times or somebody like that will objectively actually give you just the straight-up news.
You know, I believe that's owned by our parent company.
I believe
Can we say that?
I am a subscriber.
Oh, well done. I steal your paper.
I'm old enough to remember that between 2000 and 2008, it was the same.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is when the media was like, they have to fight against President Bush on everything. Every issue, every utterance, was amplified. And then, as Greg has pointed out, that they were asleep during the Obama years.
Obama toast.
But this is what I think, that there has been some journalism that has had an effect on the Trump administration. If you look at the HHS, former HHS Secretary Tom Price, he had to resign after that reporting. The New York Times and others, mainly the New York Times, focusing on Scott Pruitt at the EPA. That was journalism that they didn't focus on President Trump. They were just doing their journalism, and they had an effect. I would also say that they spent...
But so did Pruitt. Pruitt had an effect. That's why they went after him. I mean, he was doing some good stuff, right?
Well, but
he was
that
doing
good
some
stuff
really
is still...
Yeah, no, he was doing stupid stuff, too.
You can do like good policy without the other, which Andy Kessler is doing now. The other thing I would say is, if they cover every tweet and every utterance, then they're not covering all the other stuff. So
Yeah.
there's limited room in the newspaper, and if they just want to do the tweets, they can do that, and all the other stuff goes under the radar.
Yeah.
What people like Tom Friedman, who's a bright guy, but he's dead wrong on this.
You have a better mustache.
What they don't get is that Trump is a movie star. He's
Right.
got charisma. You mentioned Jeb Bush. I like Jeb a lot. I mean, I had interviewed him a bunch of times when he was governor. But next to Trump, it was like it was vanilla next to a banana split with a cherry on top.
He did that
and
one by
sprinkles.
one through the primary and just took everybody out.
And because they couldn't compete with someone with that kind of charisma. Now,
Right.
you can hate Trump, you can love Trump, but the thing is, there is a magnetism about him. The more you see him, and he doesn't blow the world up, you say, hey, you know, maybe he's not so bad. The economy is okay, really good, in fact, and we're not at war with North Korea. And he may work out. The Iranians, what have they done? They haven't really hurt us. And the more he's around, I think, the more people get used to him. I think it really works in Trump's favor.
But what's surprising to me about the piece is that Friedman sort of, he put it out there that the media is not for the president. He sort of said the media should be against the president.
He was honest.
Me. I mean, I thought, is he admitting that the fake news that the
Remember
president
the
talks
time
about?
he was honest and he said, I wish we could be China for a day.
Yes.
We could get all sorts of things done. And then everybody went after him for saying, oh, you like the Chinese
Every now and then he
dictatorship?
lets it slip. He pulls back the curtain, and we see what we really know to be true. All right.